Before this story ends, you'll understand why one small girl's cry stopped an entire building, and why a man everyone ignored became the only reason a family survived. If you feel this story touch your heart even once, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring more stories like this to life. The first thing anyone noticed was the sound. Not screaming, not crying, running. Small shoes slapping against marble floors, too fast, too desperate for a place where fear didn't matter. People turned their heads inside the towering glass headquarters of Harrington Global, confused, mildly annoyed, until a little girl burst through the lobby doors with tears soaking her cheeks and panic stealing her breath. Her hair was messy, her dress torn, her eyes wild with terror far too big for her small face. She didn't stop for the security guards. She didn't look at the executives stepping out of elevators. She ran straight toward the man pushing a mop in the corner. She grabbed his leg like it was the only solid thing left in the world and cried out in a broken voice, "They beat my mom. She's dying. Please, please help her." The janitor froze. His name was Samuel Reed, though no one ever called him that. To most people, he was just the janitor, the quiet older man who worked nights and early mornings, the one who kept his head down and never spoke unless spoken to. Executives passed him daily without learning his name. Assistants stepped around his mop bucket as if he were part of the furniture. He was invisible, until that moment. The lobby fell silent. Security rushed over, already reaching for radios, already preparing to remove the child for disruption. One of them gently tried to pull her away, but Samuel moved faster than anyone expected. He knelt down, his hands steady, his eyes locking onto hers with a calm that cut through her panic. "Hey," he said softly, voice low but strong. "You're safe right now. Tell me your name." "Lily," she sobbed. "Please." They hurt her. "I didn't know where else to go." Samuel looked up, and for the first time, people noticed something in his eyes, sharp, alert, focused. Not the tired gaze of a janitor nearing retirement, but something trained. Something experienced. "Call an ambulance," he said to security, not asking, telling. "Now." And lock down the east exit. A young executive scoffed. "Sir, let security handle." Samuel stood, and the room changed. He moved with authority that didn't need permission. His posture straightened, his voice carried weight, and when security hesitated, unsure why they were suddenly listening to a janitor, he added quietly, "If you waste another second, that woman bleeds out." An ambulance was called. Lily clung to his hand as they rushed outside, her small fingers shaking but refusing to let go. On the sidewalk across the street, a woman lay crumpled near a black SUV, blood seeping into her blouse, her breathing shallow and uneven. Two men were gone already, disappearing into traffic, leaving behind silence and terror. Samuel dropped to his knees beside her without hesitation. "Ma'am, can you hear me?" he asked, already assessing injuries, already pressing his hands against the wound with practiced precision. People gathered, phones raised, whispers spreading. "Who is he? Is he a doctor?" "He's just the janitor." Samuel tore strips from his own uniform to apply pressure, his movements controlled, efficient. Lily watched, wide-eyed, as he spoke calmly to her mother, keeping her conscious, keeping her alive. "You're going to be okay," he said, and somehow, it didn't sound like a lie. When the ambulance arrived, the paramedics exchanged surprised looks as they took over. "You did good work," one of them said. Quietly, Samuel nodded, stepping back, his hands stained red. That should have been the end of it. But it wasn't. The next morning, the story was everywhere. Janitor saves woman after brutal assault. Security footage leaked. People replayed the moment Samuel took control, replayed the way executives stood frozen while he acted. And one person watched the footage more closely than anyone else, the CEO of Harrington Global. Richard Harrington had built an empire from nothing. He was respected, feared, admired. And when he saw Lily's face on the screen, something in his chest tightened painfully. Because that was his daughter. And the woman on the ground was his ex-wife, Elena. He hadn't known Lily would be in the city that day. He hadn't known Elena was in trouble. And the realization that his own child had run past dozens of powerful people, past wealth, influence, authority, to cling to a janitor shattered something inside him. Richard ordered Samuel brought to his office immediately. Employees buzzed with rumors as Samuel, still in his janitor's uniform, stepped into the top-floor executive suite. The contrast was stark: polished wood, floor-to-ceiling windows, power in every detail. Richard stood when he saw him. "Sit," he said, then paused. "No, Thank you for saving them. Samuel nodded. Any parent would have done the same. Richard studied him. You're not just a janitor. Samuel was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, I was a combat medic. Special forces. Before I lost my family. Before I needed a quiet life. Silence stretched between them. My daughter trusted you, Richard said, voice tight. She ran to you. Samuel met his eyes. Kids know who's safe. Elena survived. Slowly, painfully. Lily visited Samuel every day he worked, bringing him drawings, hugging his legs the same way she had that first day, but now with smiles instead of fear. Richard changed after that. He started noticing the people he used to overlook. He changed company policies. He funded domestic violence shelters. He rehired veterans. And he made sure Samuel Reed was never invisible again, though Samuel still chose to mop floors in the mornings, because humility, he said, was its own kind of strength. One night, as Lily hugged him goodbye, she looked up and said, You're my hero. Samuel smiled, eyes soft. No, sweetheart, you are. You were brave enough to ask for help. And that became the message people remembered. That sometimes the greatest power in the room isn't money, status, or titles, but compassion, courage, and the willingness to act when someone is hurting. If this story moved you, remind yourself, be kind to the people you pass by every day. You never know who's quietly strong enough to save a life. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe, because stories like this deserve to be shared.